Hey everybody, I just wanted to drop some quick thoughts on the 2025 NFL draft class for the Arizona Cardinals. Let's go ahead and get into it. Walter Nolen is a name that was connected with the Cardinals pretty frequently, but in the past few weeks there were questions about whether or not he would even still be available at 16. The board fell the right way, and Nolen did indeed fall right into the lap of Monti Ossenfort. I encourage you to watch this video released by the team and see just how ecstatic Jonathan Gannon was to get a player of Nolen's caliber. He is one of the most physically gifted defensive players in this entire class, and he's coming off an incredible season at Ole Miss. 6 sacks, 25 hurries are great, but he also graded out at 91.6 in run defense by PFF. And the knock on Nolen this entire pre-draft season has been concerns about work ethic and attitude. I trust that Ossenfort and the staff have done their homework to understand Nolen as a person as well as a player, and from what I've seen since he was selected, Gannon's assessment of him as a shy guy that takes a little bit of time to warm up seems pretty accurate. Even if there are any issues there, Nolen is going into the perfect locker room to learn what the expectations are for a professional football player. I'm confident that Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Darius Robinson will all model the culture that Gannon is trying to build in Arizona. In my view, there is a great chance that this is one of the best picks of the entire first round. If this works out, Nolen has a potential to be a game wrecker and a mainstay of the Cardinals defense for a very long time. I'm going to give this pick an A. I only hold back from an A+ because there is some Kimdichie potential there if the character concerns actually are a problem, but I'm going to remain optimistic and think that Nolen is going to be a monster for this team. Now, in my own mock drafts, Will Johnson was a pretty frequent flyer at number 16. He was an elite cover corner at Michigan, winning a national championship with them in 2023. In fact, I think Johnson is the best pure cover corner in this draft class, and it isn't particularly close. What really hurt his draft stock was the release of some more details concerning his knee surgery that he had 2 years ago and its potential for shortening his career. The Cardinals have taken a shot on an injured cornerback before in Ossenfort's first draft when they took Garrett Williams in the third round, and I think that turned out pretty well. If this pick follows the same trajectory there, then Arizona might have gotten a top 10 talent at number 47 just because they were willing to take a risk on him. Johnson was also not happy with this slide. Reports were that his phone call with the media after his selection were pretty fiery, and that means he's coming into the building with fire in his gut. I bet he's taking the bus to the facility right now. I'm giving this pick an A+. Medical concerns are there, but the potential for our first all-pro cornerback since Patrick Peterson is also there, and well worth the risk in my opinion. Amazing value. And in the third round, the Cardinals win defense yet again with an edge out of Oregon Jordan Burch. Burch is not a player that I did a bunch of work on, but he's another athlete in that mold that Gannon and Rollis like. Hyper athletic with a lot of intangibles that can't really be taught. He can play odd or even fronts, but his pass rush win rate goes up significantly when he is left alone at edge, so I expect that is how the Cardinals are planning to use him. PFF gave him a pro comp of Matthew Judon, and if he comes anywhere close to that, this is another big win for the Cards in the third round. I will give this pick another A. Ossenfort's fully dedicated to rebuilding this defense and giving Rollis, who already did a pretty admirable job last year with the talent that he had, all of the talent that he could ask for this year to turn this into an elite unit. The 115th pick went defense as well, taking linebacker Cody Simon out of Ohio State. In free agency, we have already added Akeem Davis-Gaither and Michael Walker, so this makes the third inside linebacker added to compete for a spot opposite Mack Wilson Sr. in the middle. Simon exudes Gannon energy, super well regarded by his staff and teammates, national championship pedigree. The staff also really loves inside linebackers with pass rush upside. Simon had 7 sacks as a Mike last year at Ohio State, player very much in the mold of his new teammate Mack Wilson Sr. Now, this wasn't a player on my radar, but it isn't a bad pick. I think I'll go B+ for this one. He will have some vets to compete with for a starting role, so he's not an immediate impact player, but I can definitely see why the team went this direction. The Cardinals went into the draft holding the 152nd pick, but they traded out with the Cowboys for the 174th and 211th picks. pretty far trade back to go down 22 spots in the draft, and who they selected with that pick was also a bit of a head scratcher. Ohio State cornerback Denzel Burke. This makes the 7th cornerback drafted by the Cardinals in Ossenfort's 3 drafts with the team. Burke is not a bad player. This is just a question about roster building strategy. How many cornerbacks is too many for the Cardinals? Is there going to be some type of Survivor-esque challenges in training camp to see who can survive in an already overloaded room? It seems like Ossenfort is just going pure BPA, and Burke was the highest rated player left on the board, and he just went with it. But this is a first pick that I actually didn't like much. I have to give this one a C. Not necessarily an indictment on Burke as an athlete, but more a question on what the strategy of roster building is. At pick 211, the Cardinals finally went offense with guard Hayden Conner. He comes with a ton of experience in the top ranks of college football, appearing in 51 games at the University of Texas over 4 years, which included 3 as a full-time starter at left guard. Conner is built well for a guard, has enough athleticism to block downfield, so his upside as a pulling guard in the Cardinals' run game. But the best stat out there for him is that in 617 passing snaps, he didn't allow a single sack. This was later than I expected the Cardinals to go offensive line, but I'm happy with the value that they got this late. I'm going to give this pick a B+. Conner can fight it out with Isaiah Adams for the right guard spot, or he might be a developmental piece to take over at left guard when Evan Brown is done here. Either way, this is a good pick. They called me crazy, but I have been a proponent of taking a developmental safety in this draft for quite a while. Jalen Thompson's time with this team is limited, and even with Dadrian Taylor-Demerson, the heir apparent, it's smart to start adding to that room now. With the last pick in their draft at number 225, the Cardinals took safety Katon Crawford out of Nevada. Crawford spent the first 4 years of his college career at Texas before transferring to Nevada in 2024. There, he put up an 88.5 PFF coverage grade last season and has played over 1,000 special team snaps in college. That's important since it's likely going to be his role for the foreseeable future unless Taylor-Demerson just doesn't work out. But I will also give this one a B+. I might have liked to see a wide receiver with this pick, but I also understand the strategy, and I think Crawford is a solid player. Overall, when you look at the full body of work, I think the Cardinals absolutely crushed the 2025 NFL Draft. They addressed major needs, they added athletic, high-upside talent, and they stayed true to their long-term vision. For me, this draft class gets a very strong A. There's a clear plan here, and for the first time in a long time, it really feels like Arizona is building something sustainable. But hey, that's just my take. What do you guys think? Drop your overall draft grade in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time on Bird's Eye View.